Okay, hello, it's the top of the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Stacy, a compulsive eater from Los Angeles, California. Can I be heard okay? Okay. I am the vice chair of the Board of Trustees, and I'll be chairing this meeting. Welcome to our quarterly town hall. It's our first town hall of 2024. We will have another town hall in April and then one in July. And we hold quarterly town halls for the fellowship to ask questions, make suggestions, and raise concerns about GSA World Services. So the first thing we'll do some introductions, and then I will go over what we will do for the rest of the agenda. So I will start. So I'm Stacy. I introduced myself already. I'm the vice chair of the Board of Trustees, and I'm going to introduce other members of the board. And for Deborah, who's doing the timing, and Deborah, please interrupt me at any time. It's going to be 5 minutes for the introductions. Okay, so Grania, why don't you go next?
Hi, everybody. I'm Grania in Ireland. I am the chair of the Board of Trustees and the liaison to the website committee, the Southern Central Intergroup, the European Intergroup, and La Comunidad Hispana, our Spanish-speaking intergroup. And my abstinence date is September 16th, 1994.
Thank you, Grania. Joey.
Thanks, Stacy. Hey, everyone. Joey here from Long Island, New York. I am one of the board members, too. I am the assistant treasurer and the chair for the 7th edition. I am also the liaison for the wonderful communications committee and a member of the archives committee, and also one of the liaison for the New York Metro Intergroup. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Joey. Joyce?
Hi, everyone. I'm Joyce, and I am on the board. I'm the board treasurer and also on the finance committee. I'm the liaison for that committee, and also I'm the treasurer for the Phone Bridge Intergroup, and I'm the liaison for the Southern Central Intergroup.
Thank you, Joyce. Maggie?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maggie. I am a compulsive overeater, and I am a member. I'm a board member, another board member. I am a member of the literature committee. I'm the board liaison for the literature committee, and I am the board liaison for the Connecticut Intergroup.
Thank you, Maggie. Barbara? Oh,
Barbara put a note in the chat that she is just listening. She's in a car.
so Barbara's here. Thank you. Deborah?
Hi, I'm Deborah, compulsive overeater. A new board member, liaison to archives. I'm nervous, so I'm looking at my notes. And liaison to the Phone Bridge, and just excited to learn and be here.
Thank you so much, and thank you for timing today. Marvin, I think you're on another one of my screens, but I thought I saw your name.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marvin A. out of New York, trustee on the board, liaison for the conference committee. And anything else I need to say? No.
No, good
Thanks.
to see you, Marvin. Okay.
Good to see you.
And then is Anya here? I don't know. Okay, Anya is our non-compulsive eater board of trustees trustee. Okay, so if everyone can please put your identifying information in the chat. So your name, your role in World Services, if you have one, your committee, intergroup, email, that would be great if you'd like to do that. And let me go through what the agenda is going to look like for today. So we did our introductions. We're going to now For 20 minutes, we will ask, you can ask your Board of Trustees anything you'd like. So any information that you would like or any feedback that you would like to give, that would be for 20 minutes. Then we have our special topic. Am I cutting in and out or am I okay? Okay, the special topic, which is our census results, that will be for 20 minutes. Then we will do our update on our 4 core functions, and that is 20 minutes total. Then we'll have presentations by 3 intergroups. We'll have the New York Metro Intergroup, Western States Intergroup, and the European Intergroup, and that's for 15 minutes total. Then we'll get a report on our donations for 2023 and our budget for 2024, and that's 15 minutes total. And then we will have some announcements and closing, and the whole thing will be an hour and a half. Okay, so it's now time for anyone to ask questions. If you can raise your virtual hand, any questions that you have for the Board of Trustees, and I'll either answer or direct you to the person who can answer. If we don't have the information at this time, what we will do is we will put the response in our next service matters. And because of the deadline, that would be the response would come out in March of 2024's service matters. So, and we didn't receive any questions ahead of time. So, so we don't have anything to report, but we're here to answer questions now or take feedback. And so this is for 20 minutes. So if Deborah, you can start the timer and we're open for questions. Grania?
Stacy, could I just remind everybody that we do have simultaneous interpretation for our Spanish members. So for our interpreter's sake, if you could talk slowly, clearly, with a minimum of 12-step jargon, that will really help her. She's not a member of a 12-step fellowship to translate. And we have many, many members here today from our Spanish-speaking community who are listening to her at the moment. So just speak as clearly and as slowly as you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Grania. And I do want to thank Lilia for being here for doing that for us. Okay. Any questions, feedback? We're here to listen. Okay, we'll start with Norman and then Laura.
Hi, family. My name is Norman. I'm from the New York Intergroup from the GSR. And my question is, now you have the sponsorship program, and people would like to volunteer to be involved in that sponsorship program. But some of the trainings that they have to go to are on Saturday. Are there any other trainings besides Saturday?
Okay, thank you, Norman. Let me turn that over. Grania, do you have that response?
Sure. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Norman, for asking about our startup sponsor team. The startup sponsor training is regularly scheduled on Saturday morning, New York time, but we could schedule a different time if you requested it. There's no reason why we couldn't do that.
I have one more question.
Okay, one more question, and then I'll call Laura, and then you can come back in, Norman.
Okay.
Go ahead, Norman.
Okay, the other question is, I know that it's been a request for all groups to re-register, you know, and I know the importance of all the groups re-registering to make sure, and I know that there's some groups that are not registered and they need to be registered, but is there any way that you can, the form that you have to fill out, that can be changed or made a little bit more simple? That's all. Especially when you have to re-register.
Okay, so do you want to tell me what about it is?
Because,
Yeah,
basically,
tell me.
you're just, you have to go through the whole thing of putting all this information in, the same information that you already put in for the, and then you're only updating, two things. Either you want to, change people that you have to, people that have, change or leadership in that particular meeting, or, can we make it a little bit more simpler? You understand what I'm saying? Because you have to go
Yeah,
through this
so if it-
whole, the same, you have to put in all the same information. And the only thing is that you're re-registering the group or you're updating some information. Can you make the form a little shorter so when you re-register, you just have to put in certain information. You don't have to go through the whole process of putting when the meeting starts, when this and all that stuff. It's just too much. Okay.
So maybe
Just for re-registration. I'm not talking about when people initially sign up the group. I'm talking about when you're going to re-register the group. That's all.
right. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying maybe if it could like repopulate. So if it would have your registration from last time and then repopulate, so then it would make it easier. So what I
Yes.
will do, oh, Grania.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Norman. This is a project that the website committee has already engaged a website developer member, Sally G. in California, and she is currently working on that project for us as a hired contractor, so that when you put in your group name or your group number, it will repopulate all the previously registered information, and all you will have to do is make the changes. So thank you for reminding us about that, and Sally is hard at work on that at the moment. We had hoped to have it ready in time for the renewal, but we don't have a deadline. We don't have a date yet for when it will be ready.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for that question, Norman. And just a reminder, if people could raise your virtual hands, because I can't read in the chat at the same time. That's difficult. Laura, before you go, Mindy, did I lower your hand by mistake? Okay.
I lowered my hand by
You lowered
mistake.
your hand.
Just
Okay.
want to add a comment if Laura doesn't mind on that.
Sure. On that topic, sure.
Yeah. If there's something that can be done like immediately, like maybe take off every meeting to list all the specifics or something immediately, because I feel like kind of pressured because we have delegate registration around the corner, and this kind of hinges on it, the accuracy, or there's going to be a lot of back and forth. So if you can just do something quickly, like a Band-Aid with the current form, it took me 20 minutes, and I'm very I was familiar with the form. But adding abstinence dates of the second person, it takes time to go back and forth. And adding 3 meetings that are part of the group, there has to be some of the things deleted, like just list the names of the meetings, not like everything. Or
I hear what you're saying, Mindy. Okay, so we will definitely discuss that. I appreciate that.
Thank
and
you.
We'll put a response in service matters for that. Okay, Laura.
I'm Laura, compulsive eater. I was just wondering what the correct avenue is to go down for suggesting modernizing the GreySheet. Because as a relative newcomer to this program, and as someone who's noticed a pattern with my sponsees, the ones that have left, that people are generally much more educated around food and whole foods and things like that. And that one of the very common problems that I've come across that I don't have a good answer for when people challenge me about it is why can we have oils but we can't have X, Y, and Z whole food thing that's and then also that the GreySheet itself, you have to sort of explain it to each person that cross this bit out and write this in and write that. And I know that it's been some sort of oral tradition that we do that, but for me, it was very confusing. And for people who I've sponsored, it's been very confusing. And my perception is that the fellowship is shrinking. And my suggestion is that in order to help our fellowship grow and reach the compulsive eater who still suffers, that there needs to be a bit of scope for modernizing things.
Okay, thank you, Laura. I'm going to turn that response to Grania.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Laura. Yes, of course, this has been a question that sponsees have raised for the 40 years that the program has been in existence. Why do we have to physically mark up the gray sheet? Why can't we change the gray sheet? The answer is because none of us has been granted authority to alter the gray sheet. And the foundation of GreySheeters Anonymous in 1998, one of the founding commitments that the members made, some of whom are here today, who created our 12-step fellowship in 1998, one of the commitments they made was that they would not change the gray sheet document, that the gray sheet is the gray sheet is the gray sheet, and nobody grants any of us the authority to change it. So the foundation of GreySheeters Anonymous World Services is that we protect the gray sheet and we don't allow for any changes to the gray sheet. And that was what we were founded to do, is to maintain the document that we were given when our fellowship was created. And it may not make everybody happy to hear that World Services is not the place to come to make changes to the gray sheet, but that is the answer. GreySheeters Anonymous World Services is mandated to maintain the gray sheet with no changes. Back to you, Stacy.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Thank you, Grania, for that. Linda.
Hi, thank you, Stacy. My name is Linda. I'm a compulsive eater. And I recently had questions come to me that I'm assuming more than one person has this question. So I'd like to ask it on their behalf. And that is, where do the proposals come from? Do they come from the top down or what?
Sure, I can answer that. Well, or did you want me to answer that, or did you want, okay, I could answer that. The proposal, where do they come from? Well, a suggestion for a new idea could come, or for a proposal for something that they would like changed or added to our program, not the food plan, but our program. It could come from anyone at all. So it could come from any gray sheeter. It could come from, and it would go to the proper committee. So let me just give you an example. Let's say the example is a proposal to register intergroups. So let's say that a gray sheeter thought, okay, we should register intergroups so that way we're only listing meetings on the website that are from groups that are helping to carry the message. So they would go to the corresponding committee, which would be the structure committee, and say, I have an idea. I think we should register groups. Then the chair of the structure committee would bring that to the structure committee, and the structure committee would vote, okay, we should bring this proposal to register groups. Then it will go on the agenda for the chairs and ISRs meeting. And what would happen there is, in a 3-month period of time at a minimum, the committee chairs would bring the idea back to the members of their committee. The ISRs would ask the GSRs to announce it. Ask the GSRs to announce at their groups, at their business meeting, what do you think about this idea? And so that way we're getting feedback from the people in the actual groups, from the GSRs, from the ISRs, people in committees, just from the whole fellowship. And then the chairs and ISRs would vote on whether or not they think this is a good proposal based on the feedback they got from the people in their groups and committees. Then it would go to the Board of Trustees to also vote if this is something that is aligned with what we have to be responsible for, like fiscally or whatever that is. And then after that happens, it goes to the entire, at the yearly meeting of the delegates, the GreySheeters Anonymous the World Service Conference meeting, the delegates would vote whether or not to have that proposal be granted and become a resolution. So that's the process. So the proposals can come, it comes from, there's no top down or bottom up, because I don't even know what that would look like, because it's an inverted triangle anyway. But we get from all levels of GreySheet, we would get feedback, and that helps to create the proposal. Did I even in the slightest answer your question, Linda? Okay, thank you, Sharon.
Can you see this?
That is
at the very bottom of the triangle down here is a sort of cube. It's like a coffee percolator. So all the groups and the members, we're at the top. We're the ones who make the proposals, or they can come from anywhere in the fellowship, but they work their way down into your intergroup, through your ISR, through your GSRs, down to your delegates who go to conference. And the subjects, depending on what they're about, they get filtered to the different committees. So if you want to have a voice, no choice. If you want to get involved in the decisions that are made, get involved in one of the core functions, the service committees, literature, PI, communications, finance, archive, structure, etc. Get involved, because that's where your ideas of how this fellowship can be improved end up at a committee for discussion as a proposal to then get voted on. So there's no top down, it's actually upside down. The groups, we are at the top, it gets distilled into the intergroup, and then it gets distilled further into committees, and then to conference, where we all vote, your GSR or your delegates vote. I hope that was helpful.
What she said, that's exactly right. Okay, anybody else? How much time do we have, Deborah?
You've got 4 minutes and 29 seconds.
Okay. Ask anything, any questions, any feedback. Debbie from the Midwest.
Unmuting. Is it okay to be off video to speak?
It's okay.
Thank you. Okay, so I just went and grabbed my formats, and I wish I had prepared for this before, but I think even if I can't find it in the format, so there's one place where when somebody is a leader is mentioning muting, there's one place where they say, mute again, and maybe that's the same paragraph where it says it's important to keep yourself muted at all times. I'm not sure, but there's another place where muting is mentioned, and it might have been earlier in the meeting, or I can't remember, I'm sorry, but the important thing to me is that it was another time when muting is talked about, and the leader says maybe that you come in muted and then you can unmute.
Is there so what is your question specifically?
It's not a question, it's a recommendation. Can I not make that?
No, of course, but here's the thing, that each group is autonomous, and what groups do at their meetings, it's up to the group. And so that's not something that the Board of Trustees can address at the World Service level because of exactly what Sharon was showing you with that triangle, the upside down triangle. So what you may want to do is speak to your the moderator of your group. Were you speaking at something that happens at the group level, like during a meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be the right thing to do, because it would just be up to the group. So I would speak with the moderator, but I thank you for bringing that up.
I never know who the moderator is. That's a anonymous position, I thought.
Okay, so, okay. I don't know if it's up to the group if it's anonymous or not. I don't know. However, if you go on GreySheet.org and you look up the meeting list, it will have if the group has registered, it will have the name of a GSR or a contact person whom you can contact and ask that question. Okay.
Do you never make recommendations or suggestions about the formats?
No, there's formats online, but no, that's just up to the format is up to it's up to the group. Okay, Cindy MM. Hi, Cindy MM.
Thank you. I thought Debbie was ahead of me. Thank you all. I'm Cindy MM, and I am a compulsive eater and food addict. And I weigh and measure 3 meals a day from the Gray Sheet, commit them to my sponsor, another qualified person. I don't eat in between meals, no matter what. And my abstinence and sobriety are the most important things in my life today. This is an add-on to, and I will take it to our GSR for the Gray Sheet 12 and 12 meeting on the GreySheet.org site. But to add into our expansion, the idea that we want to get this information and this plan out to people who are younger, people who are not as old as some of us. So I didn't get here till I was 51 years old. Well, I got here at 24, and then I decided I didn't need it until I was 51, but I did need it at all those years before. So what my desire is to get to people before they have all the years of suffering. And if we can do that, what a gift it would be to our world.
Cindy. We will talk about it's that our time is up. We'll talk about, when we do our 4 core functions, the public information committee, because I think that's along the same lines. Okay, so thank you for everyone who asked questions. Please continue to ask questions in this way, I will tell you. So you can always ask questions at chair@greysheet.org to be answered at the next town hall. Or if you want to ask a question anonymously, you can send the question to communication@greysheet.org. And you know who your Board of Trustees members are, information's on the website. You can always reach out to anyone at any time. But that's for the next town hall. You're welcome to ask the questions ahead of time. Okay, so for Deborah, for the timing, our next, it will be for 20 minutes total. And it's our special topic, and the special topic today are the results of our census. So I'm going to turn it over to Grania.
Thank you, Stacy. And I'm going to share my screen. So Deborah, if you will give me a verbal warning 5 minutes before the end and 1 minute before the end of the 20 minutes, I would appreciate it. So I'm going to share the results of the 2023 Gray Sheet Counts project. This is a project of World Services to connect and count us around the world. And I'm going to compare them to the results from the 2017-2018 Gray Sheet Counts project. But before I do that, does anybody have any particular question or comment about the project and that you want to make sure that I'm going to address? Does anybody have any particular question about GreySheet counts before I start so that I can be sure to address it? Okay, then I am going to go ahead and share my screen and make sure that I can still see at least the first screen of people here. Please do stop me if you have any questions as we go along, and if you would raise your digital hand, that will bring you to the top of the queue and I'll be able to see that you have a question. I see Mary in Connecticut.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary in Connecticut, compulsive eater, abstaining today by the grace of God. My question is more of a comment. I found that it was challenging to answer the census because, unfortunately, at the time, my day count kept changing. So my abstinence day kept changing. And one of the questions on the census was your abstinent date. So that kept me very hesitant to be counted because I couldn't get a day count. So I just wanted to make that comment. And I'm thinking that maybe that was a deterrent to other people because it was a deterrent to me until I finally got my day count. So I just wanted to put that information out. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mary. That's an interesting comment. The census is open for 3 months. And so hopefully, if someone is hesitant at any given point during those 3 months to fix their abstinence date in time, that at some point in those 90 days, they'll feel more comfortable. But that is a good point. Thank you, Mary. Norman?
People have concerns where this information is going to.
Okay.
That's why they wanted to thought it was some type of private entity that was collecting this information. So they have concerns about that.
Okay, thank you, Norman. I will address the confidentiality in the presentation. Yep. Anything else that people want to make sure that I cover? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started then. So the GreySheet Counts project began in 2017 as we were closing in on our 20th anniversary, which would have been April 6th, 2018. And so after the 2018 finish of the GreySheet Counts project, we planned to repeat it every 5 years. And so this time around, we were celebrating our 25th anniversary with the project. And it was launched in April at the celebration of our 25th year that was hosted by La Comunidad Hispana, the Spanish-speaking GreySheet community, which has grown so tremendously this year. So during the April celebration events, we launched the GreySheet Counts projects. So I want to compare it to what happened in 2017, 2018, show you the differences and what was the same, and just give you the history. Bear with me. The interesting results are to come, but I want you to understand the history so that it probably will answer some of the questions that would otherwise come up. So the Board of Trustees approved it in 2017 as a project to celebrate our 20 years. And the way we envisioned it at that time was that we were celebrating by talking about the number of people in the world who are abstinent on the GreySheet. We wanted to carry the message that it isn't just 10 people in New York or 15 people in Cambridge or 5 people in London. It's a worldwide fellowship, and many, many people are able to do this. And we wanted to show how long people had been abstinent, to show the newcomer that this program really works. And the other purpose was to connect us by giving everybody the opportunity to opt in to the GreySheet phone list. The GreySheet phone list was a service that was started by a single member many, many years ago and was curated for decades. And when that member was no longer able to do it, the list got more and more out of date. So the board saw this as an opportunity to rejuvenate, because we had been asked, I was not on the board at the time, but the board had been asked, where's the phone list? Why isn't the phone list available? Can't we have a current phone list? And so this was an opportunity to rejuvenate the phone list by saying, count yourself in and give us your name and phone number and where you are, and we'll put you on the phone list if you choose to. So that was what 2018 was all about. It ran for 6 months. And the way that it worked, you don't have to read all these details, but I just want you to know that we collected emails and phone numbers. Remember, this was pre-COVID. This was pre-Zoom. All of us were meeting in person or maybe on the phone. And so, and there were live GreySheet events around the world. So the census team gathered up membership lists from every group, intergroup, and event that we could possibly do, put all those lists together, emailed all those people, called all those people, and invited them to participate in the census. And they were emailed and called every month for 6 months to give them the opportunity to participate. And every month during those 6 months, the results were reported out on the GreyNet and on our Facebook page and to the board. At the time, several groups and intergroups said we should do this every 5 years. So particularly the Connecticut intergroup said we should do this every 5 years. So the suggestion was made to the board, and the board suggested it to the structure committee, and the structure committee said, yes, we will take that on as a project we will do every 5 years. So that's what brought us to 2023. So at the time in 2018, we committed to the fellowship that it was voluntary. Obviously, nobody can force you to go to the website and fill out a form. It's not a requirement of membership. It's a totally voluntary opportunity. The information would be confidential. So we weren't going to be publishing a membership list. We weren't going to be sharing it with anybody. It was just going to the people involved, the volunteers involved, on the board who were putting this census together. But it wasn't a simple count because we wanted to do that phone list. We wanted to connect everybody through the phone list. So it couldn't be anonymous. If you wanted to be on the phone list, you needed to give your name and your location and your phone number. So, and one of the limitations at that time was it was only in English. So people in Iceland and Israel and Europe reported back to us and said that was pretty difficult for our community to participate in since the form was only in English. So I already mentioned that we committed to doing it again every 5 years, and we added the functions that we would provide more opportunities to connect. So in addition to giving the opportunity to people to join the phone list, we also gave people the opportunity to volunteer to be an area contact. That's an email list on the website showing people in all different areas around the world and their email address so that newcomers in Johannesburg can get on there and say, oh my God, there's actually somebody in doing GreySheet in Johannesburg. I wouldn't be the only person in South Africa if I joined this program. We gave people the opportunity to opt into the Facebook group, the new GSA's Facebook group, to subscribe to Service Matters, and to join a committee or become a delegate and some other service opportunities. So this time around in 2023, we gave more opportunities to people who participated to connect. So as I said, we launched it at the town hall in April when we were celebrating our 25th anniversary. It ran from April to August. We closed it just after the July town hall. We announced it on phone and Zoom meetings. We announced it at the Chairs and ISR's monthly meeting, the committee's connecting meeting, at the July town hall. We announced it in Service Matters on the GreyNet and on the GreySheet World Services Facebook page. And every month we reported out on the results, how we were doing so far, how many people in every country were participating. And we recruited some volunteers to call everybody on the GreySheet phone list, which is almost 800 people, and invite them to participate in the project. We did get some concerns, just like Norman suggested. We had some concerns around confidentiality and anonymity. And so the structure committee took that feedback and they adopted some suggestions to change our methodology for the next census in 5 years, which is 2027. I don't know why it says 2028 on this screen. So the revisions that we adopted, the suggestion was made to rename it so that it isn't referred to any longer as a census. There are some communities who find the term census threatening or uncomfortable, and they'd rather not participate. And it's not only a count. So we don't just want to say there are X number of GreySheeters in the world. It's a project to connect us. So the structure committee adopted the suggestion to rename it for 2027. There are, I think it's 5 required questions that are just an absolute minimum. So if you participate, we ask for your email address, your abstinence date, your city and state or country, and how you found GreySheet. So that's the bottom line. Those are the required questions if you participate. Everything else is optional, but we didn't make that as clear as we could have in the way the form was constructed. So when people logged on to participate, the first thing they saw was name. And people didn't like that. And we should have been more clear that these are the 5 required questions and everything else is optional. If you opt into the phone list, then you get to put in your name. So we're going to do that better next time. And people reported that the reminder calls or the invitation calls that they received made them feel like they were being targeted or badgered into participating, and that if they got a call that they were somehow being hounded into being a participant. And so we want to be really sure that that is not the perception that we're giving when we call people to invite them to participate. And I'll jump ahead just a little bit to say, we know the biggest finding for me personally, since we closed the project in August, is people keep saying to me, what census? I didn't hear about any census. I never heard about it. I would have participated if I'd known. So somehow we do need to reach out to people to invite them to participate, to let them know that it's happening. But somehow we need to do it in a way that doesn't make people feel like we're chasing them and dragging them to the website and forcing them to participate. So here are the highlights. Before I go on to the results, does anybody have any questions about the methodology and how it compared to 2018 or what we're going to do different for 2027? Maggie.
Yes, I'm just wondering what, why you chose to, in 2017, you said that you did it for 6 months, you ran for 6 months, and this time we ran it for 3 months. Is there a reasoning behind that? It seems to me if we ran it for 6 months again too, it might get the word out more.
Yep. I don't remember the reason, but it came from the chairs and ISRs meeting when the structure committee proposed the methodology to the chairs and ISRs, and we proposed 6 months. The feedback we got was, that's ridiculously long. We just need to do this for 3 months. And so the structure committee said, okay, we'll do it for 3 months. I don't remember why that feedback was given to us, but it seemed like it was worth a try. Maybe we need to go back to 6 months the next time, something for the structure committee to consider. Cindy?
Yes, thank you, Grania. The question with regard to confirmation, can there be a better way to see that it actually has been submitted and what we said matches what we wanted to be said?
That's really good too. Yeah, those little niggling technical questions. It was a really, lots of people had problems with the form. Lots of people weren't clear whether it had actually gone through or not. And yeah, we definitely need to do it better next time. So yeah, I'm looking at Miguel right now, our website committee chairperson. Thank you, Cindy, for reminding me about those technical issues. Ilona.
Yeah, hello. I would actually recommend like even a longer period of spreading the word, like 9 months, because it's very difficult. I think that to really invite people and to help them understand what it is, especially newcomers or beginners, how important this is to count yourself in. And the other thing is like I'm a little bit confused. So the next census should be 2028 as per my math.
2027. You're not the only confused one, clearly. So
But it's
it
gonna
went
be
from
2028.
2017 to 2023 to 2025. 25 plus 2023 is 2028. Yes. Thank you, Ilona.
Okay.
Thank God that it's not done by me in the moment. It's done by a committee making these decisions much more carefully than this. Thank you, Ilona. All right, so you've been looking at the screen with the highlights of the results. So in 2018, we counted 848 people. The number in 2023 was 748, kind of interesting how neatly it dropped by 100. In 2018, again, remember, pre-COVID, pre-Zoom, New York, Connecticut, both reported that a lot of their members were completely computer uncomfortable and were not willing to go online and fill out a form on a website. So at that point, we actually did hard copy pages for the Connecticut intergroup, and they filled out forms in hard copy. So they estimated that we missed 50 people in New York and 50 people in Connecticut. And Israel reported that we missed about 50 of their members because of the language difficulty. But despite that, in 2023, our numbers were down. As I said, many people say to me they never heard about it. They never had the opportunity to participate. And I forgot to mention, of course, that this time around, we had the form available in Spanish, Icelandic, and Hebrew. So we did respond to the feedback of our community saying, make it easier for the rest of us to participate. So in 2018, we estimated about 85% participation rate. We had 22 countries, 42 US states. In 2023, we went up to 35 countries and 41 states. The 35 countries is primarily a result of our La Comunidad Hispana, our Spanish-speaking community, and all of our Latin American countries that have joined us. And you'll see that more in a minute. In 2018, we calculated the average length of abstinence of all the people who had 1 year or more, and it was 11 years. So we concluded if you made it to 1 year of gray sheet abstinence, the average you would get was 11 years. And that increased in 2023. The average was 12 and a half years of abstinence.
You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah. We had plenty of newcomers in 2018 and in 2023. And we had, the last point is that only 5 people in 2018 and only 18 people in 2023 remained completely anonymous, meaning that they only gave their email address, their abstinence date, their city, and how they found GreySheet, and nothing else. So to me, that indicated a high level of trust in those who participated, that they were willing to give this information and participate further. I'm going to speed up with the results because I only have 5 minutes left. As I said, the only opportunity to opt in to anything in 2018 was the phone list. 91% of the people who participated opted in, and the numbers were similarly high in 2023. Most people opted in for the things that they were offered. Obviously, Facebook, not everybody's on there, so not so many people were there. And almost 40% of the people expressed an interest in some kind of service. So we've all followed up with those folks since then. One question that we added this year was that we had suggestions to include questions like ethnicity and sexual orientation and age. And then we had some people saying, what the heck does that have to do with gray sheet abstinence? And so we put a question into the census this year that said, would you be willing to answer those kinds of questions in the future? Because we didn't want to include them if they would alienate people. And 84% of the people said they'd have no problem answering those kinds of questions. Nobody opted out of any further contact from GSAs, from GreySheet World Services. So everybody agreed to be contacted by email. In 2018, these were the places with the most GreySheeters. I'm just going to skim through these fairly quickly. Nothing too surprising there, but those changed quite a bit for the 2023. And that is primarily from number 5, number 8, and number 9 on our rankings became Latin American countries, including, not Latin American, but Hispanic countries. Spain is included in there. So in our top 10 locations, we now have 4 Spanish-speaking communities, which just shows the power of our Spanish-speaking community. These results will all be posted on the website after today, so you can go back and look at them more carefully. This is 2018, where we were in North America, and this is 2023, where we are in North America, including 9 people in Canada, 1 in the Virgin Islands, and 1 in Hawaii. So 510 GreySheeters in the USA in 2023. In 2018, Europe, including Iceland, had 14 locations, and these are the numbers. And then in 2023, there are more countries in Europe with GreySheeters in 2023 than there were in 2018. And they are spread around in many different countries. In Iceland, no surprise to Hólmfríður and the rest of the Icelandic community, almost all the GreySheeters live near Reykjavik in the capital region of Iceland. There were 37 people in Iceland who counted themselves in. In Israel, This was in 2018. There were 47 Israelis who participated. In 2023, 45 Israelis participated. Even though we had the Hebrew form, we had fewer people participate. And around the rest of the world, Africa, Asia, Australia, we had 11 people in 2018, and now we have only 7 people outside of our main core areas. And here's Latin America. 33 GreySheeters in Mexico, 16 in Colombia, 15 in Dominican Republic, and it goes on from there, plus 18 GreySheeters in Spain. So thank you, Deborah. Coming to the end here. Most people did participate in English. Spanish was our next most frequent. We obviously did not reach our Israeli and Icelandic members as much as we would have liked. In 2018, our intergroups were different. We've now collapsed ourselves down to 10 intergroups. And in 2018, New York had most people. They still have the most people, and most of them are in Manhattan. In Connecticut, the numbers are still pretty much the same. I'm going through them by intergroup here. The Western States intergroup in 2018 included 10 states and provinces, and was 129 people. In 2023, it's down to 87. So we lost thank you. We lost quite a few people in the Western states and provinces. Stacy, would you like me to wrap up immediately or just finish up these intergroup numbers?
We did an extra 5 minutes already, but let's just wrap up quickly. That'd be great.
Okay, it's really coming down to the intergroups. And as I said, all of this will be online for you to look at more carefully, but I want you to know what there is for you to look at. So I'll just go through it quickly. So the Northeast intergroup is in 2018 was 121 people, and it's now down to 104 people. The Midwest intergroup and the Southwest intergroup and the Southeast intergroup all joined together to form the Southern and Central intergroup, and they are 224 people in 25 states and territories. These are all the states and territories in the Southern Central intergroup. So 173 people in 2023. So the numbers have gone down for those states as well. And the last thing I'll talk about is the amount of time abstinent. So this is a chart that shows you the number of people in each period of abstinence. From in 2018, for example, there were 107 people in their first 90 days. There were 4 people in 40 to 45 years. The shape of the graph has not changed that much, but you will notice that there's a big drop from the number of people in their first 5 years, and then the number of people in 6 more and plus more years. So I think we didn't count a lot of people in the mid numbers of abstinence dates. So there's a comparison showing that there were a lot more people in 6 to 10 years of abstinence. I'm going to leave it there and take any questions and maybe answer specific questions if they come up about some of the other specific items on the census. Sorry, it's too much for the amount of time. Stacy.
Okay, let's do this. Let's move on. And then if there is additional time at the end, because I know there's people who prepared presentations.
Yes. Yep.
I want to thank the structure committee for all their work on the census, and definitely Grania, thank you so much, and thank you for that presentation. All right, now it is time for 20 minutes total on the update on the progress of the vision and 4 core functions. So World Services vision is when anyone, anywhere realizes they have a problem with food, they think of the GreySheet solution. And that's the integrity. How we accomplish that is the integrity of the GreySheet, literature, public information, and website. So Deborah, if you can give 4 minutes to Grania for the integrity of the GreySheet program.
Thanks, Stacy. I actually will need a lot less than 4 minutes. Thank you, Deborah, for timing it. The Board of Trustees is primarily the body within GreySheeters Anonymous World Services that is tasked with defending the integrity of the GreySheet program. And by that, we mean protecting the GreySheet and our intellectual property ownership of it so that we have it to pass on to newcomers, and then protecting the program that we follow from Alcoholics Anonymous, the steps, traditions, and concepts. And so since the last town hall in July of last year, the activity of the board in that respect is really limited to all we have had to do in terms of defending the integrity of the program is implement the distribution of GreySheets policy. So we get lots of questions from people saying, how do I get a GreySheet? It's not on the internet. Why isn't it on the website? Why can't I download it? And so we have a standard response, which is the GreySheet comes with a sponsor. You get your GreySheet from your sponsor. Do you need help getting a sponsor? And then we get calls from people who are in the program and want us to give them the GreySheet. And so we then refer them to their intergroup because qualified sponsors purchase their GreySheets that they give to their newcomers from their intergroup. So the World Services is sort of a clearinghouse for questions about how to implement the policy that was adopted by the conference, the World Service Conference, about the distribution of the GreySheet. And basically the policy says the GreySheet comes with a sponsor, sponsors get it from their intergroups. So we get the questions and we just keep on giving out that information. Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you so much, Grania. And then Deborah, if you can time for 4 minutes, Sharon, speaking about the Literature Committee.
So hi everyone, I'm Sharon. I'm a compulsive eater in recovery. I'm abstinent today by the grace of God and the help of all of you. I do what you do. I weigh and measure without exception. I'm not going to say my whole mantra because I'm conscious of the time I've got to tell you just a little bit about the Literature Committee and what we're doing. So bear with me. I'm a new chair. This is my first town hall giving a presentation on behalf of the Literature Committee. There's only been 3 meetings since I joined, November, December, January, and I wasn't able to chair the December meeting. Sarah S. chaired the meeting very kindly in my absence. So I'm just going to give you a brief snapshot, and I'm conscious that we have 18 members on the Literature Committee, and I believe there's about 10 of you here today, which is wonderful. Thanks for being here. You are who make the Literature Committee happen. I'm here to facilitate an agenda and help bring those tasks to fruition. Making sure that you guys ask each other for help when you're struggling or you don't know how to move forward. So in terms of progress since the last report, just very briefly, we've got about, five projects that are sort of making real progress. The first of which many of you will know is this document that's been published on the GreySheet. I don't know if you can see it, Tips for Dining Out and Traveling in Abstinence. For any of you who haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Go and have a look. It's downloadable off the website. So that's been published and is available. The next project that is coming up to fruition is committees, the heartbeat of the GSA. So it's a pamphlet, I believe, that's going to be produced describing the 9 committees. So we talked a little bit about our core functions today, but it'll go through the service structure, the 9 committees. I'm trying to speak clearly. I'm conscious of how much time I've got. to try and get through the summary in 4 minutes. So please forgive me if I'm speaking too quickly. The next project is the whole translations process. So the literature of GreySheeters Anonymous are being translated into other languages. Andrew P. is the chair of that subcommittee, and they're in the process of developing a project management tool to track the progress of those translations. It's not as simple as just getting somebody to translate it. It has to go through all kinds of checks around copyright and around making sure that the translation doesn't interfere with the integrity of GreySheeters Anonymous or any of our master documents. So Andrew P. is doing that, and that's coming on. That's coming on. As a result of that process, the French GreySheet has been signed off. It's ready to print. The French clarifications document has been signed off and ready to print. So come to the Literature Committee. We meet once a month on the third Saturday of the month at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. Anybody's welcome to come and observe. You can hear more in detail about these projects. And we do need volunteers. We need volunteers from the fellowship to make your literature come alive. The next project that's being completed is sort of coming into its final run now is a document, a piece of literature called Sharing the Solution. And it's a distillation of 35 letters written, I believe, between a sponsor and a sponsee. This was way before the day of mobile phones and Skype meetings and Zoom meetings. GreySheeters used to write to one another. So that piece of literature is coming out soon, Sharing the Solution. And then just under revision at the moment. So these are, is that my time, Deborah? Oh, well, there you go. If you want more of a hotspot, I'll post the summary. I don't know whether there's somewhere to post this summary so you can all read it, but those are the that's the main progress since July 2023. Thanks. I'll leave it there.
That was great, Sharon. Thank you. I'm going to, as far as the Public Information Committee, if you can just give me 1 minute, Deborah. We currently do not have a chair of the Public Information Committee. And this is the committee determines how GreySheeters Anonymous presents ourselves to the world. So how do we carry the message of the compulsive eater who still suffers? So right now, there is scheduled to be an open house on February 4th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time over Zoom. And that is Sunday, February 4th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And what we will do, you do need to register if you want to attend that open house. And the purpose of it is to try to get a committee together, a chair of the committee, and just to spread the importance of we all know how important it is to carry the message and to how we present ourselves to the community at large. Okay, so next we have 4 minutes for Miguel to talk about website.
Hey, thank you, Tracy. Hello, everyone. My name is Miguel. I'm a compulsive eater, and I chair the website committee. I'm going to try to be as fast as possible. Basically, yeah, with the website committee, we have been having some problems in our organization internally, but that hasn't stopped the work and the essential work to be carried out, basically because thanks to mostly Grania, which is our liaison, Sally, who is doing all the tech integration along with Kim, which is the person who sort of maintains the website. So we've managed this year to do some of the things we wanted to do. I mean, apart from keeping up, updating and carrying on the work in improving the meeting calendar format, that we are working on that, and also all the registration forms, as Grania was talking a bit before. We managed to incorporate direct links to all our social media more in the home of the page, so they are more accessible and easier to find. We wanted to do, and we haven't done yet, at some point to launch a user experience survey to understand more about how people in the fellowship use the website and how we can improve, even though information and feedback I'm getting today from meetings like this is extremely useful. So I thank everyone who's given their feedback on that. And yeah, so but as a committee, we're trying to restructure ourselves also a bit and try to get that. At this, we know that there's always like these 3-4 members who are carrying on the work, so the website is always well attended and up and running. But we haven't done much improvement or proposed many new things. There's some old things we still have on the pipeline, including that the idea of at some point we want to consider creating an app, which is more indicated to us more or less the same way AA has some of these apps which are more optimized for phone, but it's something we need to address after we have our previous, especially the calendar and the registration forms up and running. So yeah, we're also going to have an open house on the February the 11th. We just have to register for. We will currently trying to find some new people who join us. The more we have, the better. So if you want to, that we will publish the information on that and how you can attend. But if you have any interest, you don't need to have any special technical knowledge about the website. I think for us it's more about getting users as yourselves to be more involved in the committee. And I think that's probably all.
Thank you so much, Miguel, and thank you to all of our presenters. Now it's time to do the presentations on the 3 intergroups that will be presenting this time. So the first for 5 minutes is Norman T. to discuss the New York Metro intergroup.
Hi, family. My name is Norman. I'm definitely a compulsive overeater, and I'm GSR, and I represent New York intergroup. And I just want to say we all stand on the shoulders of service members that have come before us, and I want to thank everybody on the World Service for taking it to another level, because there was a man with a vision and people from New York that established this thing we call World Service. And they had a vision in 1996. And moving forward is New York Intergroup is one of the oldest established groups in GreySheeters Anónimos. We have 23 groups. We are presently working on our website. We also are presently working on trying to build some more face-to-face meetings, because due to the pandemic, we have a lot of meetings that are on Zoom now. We've also I lost my thought. The New York, we also sponsor the New York Roundup, which that's been meeting for the past 33 years. And also, as I came into GreySheeters Anonymous, within the GreySheet community, we have established two men's meetings. We feel that it's important that we have men's meetings, and men's meetings has been going on for quite some time in GreySheeters Anonymous. When I came in, I've been in this fellowship for 33 years, but we couldn't establish anything. But due to the pandemic, we have established 2 men's meetings, and thanks to Stephen M. and Steve W., we have 2 men's meetings. And we've also established GSA Men's Inc. within our community. And we're here to support the community, because we know that men need a meeting where they can talk about men's issues, and they also can bond with men when they come in here. And we're thankful for the ladies and the women of this program that have carried the message. And that's about all I have to report.
Thank you so much, Norman and New York Metro Intergroup. Before we go on to Western states, if everyone can just ensure that they're muted, that would be great. And I'm going to turn it over for 5 minutes to Linda MC, who is the ISR for Western States Intergroup.
Thank you, Stacy. Hi, everybody. My name is Linda. I'm a compulsive eater and the ISR for Western States. And can I share screen? Yes. All right. So let me see if I can get this working. Do you guys see this? Let's see. Saw a thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, so from the beginning. All right, so this is the retreat center that we went to last year for the first time. Our intergroup's main project right now is the retreat that we put on in the summer, and the upcoming well, first of all, we covered this many states. We have a couple of provinces in Canada, and then we have I don't know how many states, but we have on the left are the groups that we represent, and
excuse me one sec, Linda.
Yes.
It didn't change your slide. If you
It didn't?
No.
Oh no.
I think we lost Linda, Stacy. Maybe we can go to Europe and come back to the
Sure,
Northwest.
let's do that. So Deborah, if you can give Linda.
I am back.
Oh, Linda's back.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry
that's
about that.
okay.
All right, so I'll try sharing one more time, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Can you see the map? Okay, great. So on the left, we have the Los Angeles, California, the path to recovery, no matter what. And I think no matter what was going to vote to join a different intergroup, but I didn't get a final word on that. Venice, California, Albany, California, come as you are, sunlight of the spirit, face to face, no matter bloody what, GSA 12 and 12, and Way to Freedom are the groups that are represented in all of these states and provinces. And like I was saying, the retreat, let's see, does that work? Okay, good. The retreat is happening July 26th through the 28th of this year, and it's going to be at this wonderful facility in the wooded areas east of Portland. And we had a lovely time at this facility last year, and we changed our theme. Last time it was humor, honesty, I can't remember them all. There were 4 H words, humility, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the last one. So pray, prepare, plan, and protect is the theme this time. And we hope that you will all join us. And here's sort of a sample schedule of events, including a talent show and raffle on Saturday night. So we should have a great time, and thank you for listening.
All right. Thank you so much, Linda. And now, and who's speaking for 5 minutes for the Eastern Intergroup? Is it Ilona or Andrew? Whoever would like to come in for the Eastern? Not Eastern. Oh my goodness. Sorry. European.
It's kind of Eastern, I think. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Okay. I'll be speaking for that. Just a second to share my screen. Share. Oh my goodness. I thought I could. Oh, there you go. Okay. Ooh, where does it go? Okay. Hi. You can see my screen, I guess. Confirm. Yes. Thank you. Hello, my name is Iona. Abstinent and grateful by the grace of God and the support this wonderful fellowship. My abstinence date is the 14th of December 2014, and I'm currently serving as an ISR to the European Intergroup. I've been serving since April 2023. And the term is usually 2 years. And just wanted to give you some information about our membership right now, which are the countries that we can, where you can see GreySheeters and meetings. Miguel has been so kind to present visually the information from the census. So here are some countries that where we have meetings. And we've got Spain. Actually, Spain and England are have the greatest number. I have my notes here. Have the greatest number of members. England 38 and Spain 18, with a total of 96 out of total of 96 gray sheet members, according to the census, as I've just mentioned. But we yeah. I believe that this number is maybe it's just different. Maybe it's more, it's bigger. I don't know. But for my country, I know that we were more than 3, because the census shows 3 members. So you see, Germany has a meeting, Poland has a meeting, Slovakia, Slovenia. Most of them are still quite small, but we are doing everything we can collectively. You can see to spread out the word. So Iwona is doing a World Service Fellowship for service, but just by attending meetings and chairs and ISR's meetings, and dealing with the so to say, the international affairs. Well, Andrew is thank you, Andrew, for your support and help. Is doing the agenda for the European, is basically handling the European intergroup meetings, which happen every second Sunday of the month. Observers are welcome, especially from Europe. We've got service positions available. Our secretary right now is Lela, who is doing an amazing job. Our treasurer is Anya from Poland. BOT Board of Trustees liaison Grania, I hate this word. Grania, thank you so much. And of course, we've got so many GSRs from not all meetings have GSRs, unfortunately. But we are yes, I think that every one of us who is currently serving in the European intergroup is trying to inform their groups that GSR service is very important. And what else? In terms of recovery events, currently we have planned the London Roundup and the Ireland Roundup, which will take place in May and August respectively. There is going to be a Paris Roundup, which I'm not sure about the date yet. And yes, I think that's about it for in terms of recovery events. We used to host retreats at the new market, but for now we aren't planning any retreats, but we will be working on that. And as we've already mentioned, translations are going very I mean, yes, there many more and more meetings are aware of the need to have literature translated. Of course, it needs to be all the translations needs to go under the approval process, and there's some I don't know, admin work, I would say, which Andrew is successfully coordinating with the literature committee. So yes, I think that's about it. We have, of course, many. Thank you. Right on time. We have some people who just attend meetings in Europe and are in close contact with us and help us just, from all over the world, for which we are so grateful. And thank you. Pass.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for all those presentations. It just made me think we are not a glum lot. I mean, those were amazing. Okay, for 3 minutes, Grania, can you please speak about the donations in 2023?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Stacy. I'm going to share the final numbers for 2023. Can you see the donations report? Thank you, Stacy. So this overwhelming chart, you can focus on the first column, which is World Services as a whole. In 2018, we thought we had about 1,000 members. We knew we needed $42,000 to cover the costs of the services that the fellowship requested, such as a lawyer to protect our intellectual property, a website developer to create our website, publishing of literature, paying a CPA to review our finances, things like that. So that meant we need $3,500 in donations every month from Seventh Tradition Donations. We're entirely self-supporting through our own contributions. And in 2023, we actually received $3,444 in donations every month. So we almost just about hit our $42,000 goal for the year to cover our expenses from donations. And the chart then shows you by month how much we received. And the months that are green show that in certain months we met our $3,500 donation goal, and certain months we didn't. And if you're interested, then you can see how much your intergroup area contributed to that total. And that includes all the individuals, all the groups, and the intergroup itself donating to World Services. And that was a wonderful success. At the last month, we got almost $5,000 in donations, and we were able to meet our goal of covering our expenses for the year with our own donations for the year. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Grania. And I want to be respectful of everyone's time. We have 4 minutes left. Joyce, can you take just 2 minutes and speak about the 2024 budget, or tell people where to find it?
Okay, sure. I'm Joyce. I'm a compulsive overeater. The budget, if you're interested in seeing it, is now posted on the website, GreySheet.org, under the Treasurer's Reports. And for next year, it's very similar. We've projected the same amount, about $40,000 in donations and about $40,000 in expenses. But we also set aside in reserves, and you can see what we have in reserved as a footnote at the very bottom of the budget that you can see on the website. So we always have a reserve for prudent reserve, which is 50% of our operating expenses. And also we've set aside extra money for projects that are in the pipeline, but they're not being worked on as yet. So additional amounts for the website committee, in case there's more legal expense that we haven't foreseen, the literature committee and other committees. So I think I'll leave it at that. If you have questions, feel free to email me at treasurer@greysheet.org.
All right, thank you so much, Joyce. So any questions, suggestions, and feedback can be submitted again to chair@greysheet.org, anonymously to communication@greysheet.org. All the notes from previous town halls are on greysheet.org/worldservices/board of trustees/town halls. Our next town hall is going to be April 28th, 2024. I want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank all of you for being here and just showing your faces and participating, or being here however you're here. Thank you, thank you. And let's end with a wee version of the Serenity Prayer. God,
grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Coming back.
Everybody.